Have you ever felt left out, fighting for something that seemed to be yours but was given to someone else? The story of Rachel and Leah shows how God's plan can be different from what we imagine. Jacob loved Rachel, but was deceived and married Leah first. This created a cycle of envy, frustration, and competition between the sisters. But in the midst of this dispute, God showed that his purpose goes beyond human desires. What does this story teach us about waiting on God, trusting in his plans and dealing with life's pains? Stay until the end, because these lessons can change the way you see trials. Comment, Lord, fulfill your purpose in my life, to strengthen this message and reach more people. Now let's dive into this incredible story. Jacob fled from his brother Esau and arrived in the land of his relatives in Haran. It was there that he saw Rachel for the first time, by a well. He fell in love immediately and worked for 7 years to marry her. But on the wedding night, he was deceived. Instead of Rachel, Leah was given as his wife. Imagine Jacob's pain when he realized that his dream had been dashed. But what about Leah? How did she feel about being forced into a marriage where she was not wanted? This situation shows that life often does not go according to our plans, but that does not mean that God is not in control. Jacob loved Rachel, but Leah, rejected, sought to be recognized. God saw her pain and allowed her to have children first, while Rachel remained barren. Leah thought that children would bring her husband's love, but he still preferred Rachel. This created a rivalry between the sisters. How many times do we seek value in external things, hoping to fill a void that only God can heal? Rachel, even though she was the favorite, felt incomplete because she could not have children. She even said to Jacob, "Give me children, or I will die." Genesis 31. Her despair shows how frustrated we can feel when God delays answering our prayers. But just like Rachel, we need to learn that blessings come at the right time and that our identity should not be found in our achievements, but in God. The rivalry grew so much that both gave their servants as wives to Jacob so that they could have more children. This shows how far we can go when we want something at any cost. But did this competition bring happiness? Many times, we seek to fill voids in the wrong way, when true contentment only comes from God. After years of waiting, God heard Rachel, and she gave birth to Joseph, who would later become a leader in Egypt. This proves that God's timing is perfect, and that what seems delayed can be the beginning of something great. Are we trusting in this timing or trying to speed things up our own way? Even though she was not the preferred wife, Leah was honored by God. From her came the lineage of Judah, from which Jesus was born. This shows that God does not choose as men choose. Those whom the world rejects, he uses for greater purposes. Maybe you have felt left out, but remember, God sees your worth and has a greater purpose for you. The story of Rachel and Leah teaches us that human love is flawed, but God's love completes us. The wait may be difficult, but God acts in his own time. Our identity is not in being accepted by others, but in being chosen by God. If you are struggling with rejection, envy, or feel that God has forgotten you, know that he is writing a story greater than you can imagine. Don't compare your life to other people's. Just like Leah and Rachel, each person has a unique purpose in God's plan. If this message spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Comment, I trust in God's plans to mark this decision of faith. Masu, God bless your life and strengthen you in every challenge.